Not British. Not American. Deutsch. Lern Deutsch. Schweinhund.
Hey there and welcome to English Words Out of a German Mouth. Today we're gonna learn about when to use der, die and das, the German articles. As you probably already know, most languages have nouns that are either masculine or feminine. German, besides capitalizing all nouns, has a third gender though, neuter. The masculine definite article is der, feminine is die, and neuter is das. German speakers like me mostly just know if Wagen is der Wagen or das Wagen or die Wagen. In this case it's der Wagen. But we just know because we grew up with this language and we pretty much just learned everything by heart. Other things we know is, for example, that the other word for der Wagen is das Auto, which both means the same thing, the car. Also, when referring to a car's brand name, it's always der Ford, der VW, der Opel, der Audi, der BMW, and so on. It's not the actual place, thing or person that has the gender, it's the actual word that stands for the thing. That's why a car can either be das Auto, neuter, or der Wagen, masculine. And forget linking gender to a specific meaning or concept. That doesn't work. Although nouns often follow the natural gender, there are exceptions, such as das Mädchen, the girl. Another example is that there are 3 different words for the ocean. Das Meer, die See, and der Ozean. Also, gender does not transfer very well from one language to another. The word for sun, for example, is masculine in Spanish, el sol, and feminine in German, die Sonne. And I bet that alone is enough to drive you English speakers mad. So, how can you learn it? How can things get easier for you? How can you learn the articles? Well, a good tip is not just to learn the noun when you're learning vocabulary, but to also learn the article with it. So instead of learning just Baum, you learn der Baum, the tree. Instead of learning Buch, you say das Buch. And just learn it as one word. That still doesn't make it that easy, but if you learn like that right from the start, it should make things easier after a while. Because not knowing the gender of a word can lead to some confusion. Because the German word das Tor means the gate or the portal. And der Tor means the fool. So you see the problem here, right? If you don't know the article, it could have a totally different meaning. But at least there are some hints to make it a little easier to learn the gender of a German noun. All German nouns, regardless of the gender, become die in the case of the accusative and nominative plural. For example, a noun such as das Jahr, the year, becomes die Jahre, the years, and sometimes the article is even the only way to recognize the plural of a word. For example, das Fenster, the window, or die Fenster, the windows. It can be a little confusing if you don't know the article. If you're trying to remember the gender of a river, it's dumb, really dumb to guess das, because every German river is either der or die, der Rhein, die Donau. See? And there's no river that begins with das. So that's a rule for you, right here. This gives you at least a 50-50 chance of being right. Another good tip when you want to learn rivers, there might be a chance that you do, I don't know why, but at least I have a tip for you in this instance. Most foreign rivers outside of Germany have the article der Mississippi, der Amazonas, der Nil, and so on. In addition to what you've just heard, there are some pretty good gender hints on a website that I've listed down there in the information box. So if you want to take a look at that and have some more practical tips when to use der, die or das, do that. I can't include them all in the video because it would just stretch it too far, and yeah, you can just read over it and tell me what you think. So I hope you found this video just a little bit helpful at least. Thanks again for watching, guys. See you next Sunday. Get Germanized, and auf Wiedersehen. And don't forget to look at my Facebook page. It's in the outro, which comes right after this. Have fun. See ya. Auf Wiedersehen.